and stretching. And what yoga research is showing us right now, or stretching science, I should say, is that resistance stretching is really the approach that we want to take. And that just means when you are moving, that you're not just flopping into end range motion, but instead that there is this kind of tension. You may have heard your yoga teacher say, it's like you're moving through honey or moving through mud. We're going to work that a little bit to create some strength and mobility, specifically in the hips. So this is a full body sequence, but we're going to get into the hips a little bit. I remember hearing when I first started yoga that the soap opera of our lives is stored in our hips. And I don't know if that's totally true. I do know that the body keeps a score. But what I have learned is that most cultures are sitting in a simple seat like this, or they're squatting when they go to the bathroom. And we don't do any of that in the West. Much of our culture is this, So we're going to open our hips today, and hopefully you feel great, a little bit lighter leaving this practice. Let's just begin by sitting up tall in a simple seat. Maybe close your eyes. Just bring awareness to the seat beneath you. Maybe what it feels like to be you in your hips today. Start to connect with some deep Ujjayi breaths in and out of the nose. Can you sense any type of soap opera in your thought life? Allow this moment of becoming present to help you drop into your body a little bit. A couple more deep breaths. Okay. Plant your hands behind you and separate your feet about mat width distance, so a little wider stance. Sit up tall and begin to rotate your knees in both directions. So it is easier for us to lift the hips like this, one at a time, and that's okay. What's a little bit more challenging is to keep the hips stable and start to rotate the inner knee towards the ground. And this is going to look different in every body. Tune into where you feel some of the tension, the sticky places as you begin to windshield wiper in both directions. Good. And then come back to center. Let's work into a 90-90 shape. So the front shin comes towards parallel. For me, I don't know if it'll ever be parallel. External hip rotation is not easy. But bring, if it doesn't feel good, the heel in a little bit closer. The back leg, draw it back just a little bit so you start to feel the work through the hip. And we're just going to begin by lifting and engaging the back hip. And that just looks like a contraction really through the left glute to lift the hip. And you might begin to lift the heel, maybe bring your hands to prayer, and start awakening these cranky outer hip, outer glute muscles. When we don't use it, we lose it. And so sometimes you might even feel some cranking. It will pass, a little cramping rather, it'll pass. But just continue to breathe through it. Very nice. All right, so we're going to lean into the right hand on the floor behind you and start with a little kick of the left foot and then kick back. So think of this as a warm-up of the hip. You can lean the entire body up and forward as you kick. And just think about how you're oiling up your hip joint. And this is where you might start to feel the crankiness, so you can always back off. Good, let's take one more. And then bring your left knee back into a 90-90. I call these sweeps, and it feels really good in my body. Take your right hand with the right knee forward and sweep in a rainbow shape along the floor as you lean forward. You're going to start to feel that through the hips. As you come back, your right hand down, left arm reaches high, and the hips press forward. Good. Let's begin to do that with a full sweep, using the breath. Nice, and you can find a pace that feels good. Just try to reach through all of the angles, through the side body and outer hip, maybe through the shoulders, the hip flexors, the chest. Take it through a couple more times. I've noticed that mobility increases as you change the angles and don't get stuck in just linear patterns of movement. Good. On this one, hold for a moment. Breathe here for 3, 2, and 1. Slowly come back. Change sides. So we'll do the same thing here on the other side. Bring the left shin forward, the right knee back, and begin to guide your back hip bone forward, just engaging the outer right hip. Maybe you do this with hands in prayer, trying to work your posture a little bit. See if you can start to pick up the back heel, a little forward with the right hip rotation. Good, just a couple more. Nice. Left hand comes back, you're gonna kick, and then maybe even follow the arm as you kick the foot back. Your arm variation can be here, or in a more supported shape. Good. Kicking forward and back, just saying hello to the right side. Good, just 2 more. Very nice. If that feels unfamiliar to you, that means it's a good thing. You're changing the angles. Sweep now with your left hand towards the right side of the space, leaning into the side body, and then reach up with the hips lifted, expand. Again, take it through, sweeping left hand towards the right side, rainbow up and back, lift up through the hips, and keep going. Keep breathing. You might notice one side is a little different than the other. Can you move without judgment? Just witness, that's interesting. I wonder if I sat on my left hip while I was on the computer for 4 hours yesterday. One more time. Now we lift, expand, allow the right shoulder to soften as you reach and open your heart space, and then come back. Good work. All right, nice warm up. Let's move into table. This is a common warm up in our body. Today we're going to take it in a little different shape through the legs. Shoulders over your wrists in table. Bring your knees wide and touch your toes together. Let's begin some cat-cows. Inhale. Exhale. And can you feel how that little tweak in the shape of the legs changes the sensation in your body? Bring your knees together, draw your heels wide, and try it this way. Shoulders over wrists, soft bend in the elbows, lift for cow,
press into the earth for cat.
Seat up, chest up, chin up.
Open through the back of the heart. Couple more. Inhale.
And exhale.
Last cycle.
Very nice. Straighten your legs behind you for high plank. And then when you're ready, lift your hips
to downward facing dog. Lift your right leg up and back to down dog kick, and then open your right hip. Begin to take some circles with the knee. Up and around. And then maybe change directions. Keep your sit bones lifting. The heel of your left foot anchoring. Good. Now open up with the right heel towards your left shoulder. And if you're able, extend your right heel long. So think half moon shape in the lower body. Then bend the heel towards your left shoulder and extend your right heel long. Let's do that one more time. Bend and straighten. Now guide your right knee towards the right elbow. Begin to shift the weight forward and take a wide step to the outside of your right hand. Come onto the pads of your fingertips. Open your chest like you would in cow pose. And then straighten the leg and round through the upper back like you would in cat. Inhale, cycling through lizard or runner's lunge. And exhale, straightening the leg and folding in, pushing the earth away from you. Let's do one more. Come back to your lunge. Sweep your right arm up towards the sky and roll your wrist. Really turn on your back leg. Notice if you're collapsing here. Find a little bit more muscular energy in your left leg. And then release. Step back to downward facing dog. We'll move to the other side. Left leg rises up. Good. Bend your knee and begin to circle knee around. Just choose a direction. Keep your heel close to your seat. And then change directions. Do 2 or 3 on that side. And then bend your knee and open your hip. Your left heel now drawing towards your right shoulder. Anchor both shoulders evenly. And then straighten your left leg and press through the left heel. You may even look under your left armpit. Think half moon shape again. Bend your knee. And then really press out. Think about resistance stretching. Imagine that you've got a weight attached to your ankle as you bend and as you straighten. Maybe lift your left leg 1 inch higher, activate the outer hip. Good. And then slowly draw your knee towards your left elbow, shift weight forward, and step. Open up your chest, reach your heart through, look up. On the exhale, round chin towards the throat and push the ground away from you. Inhale, sinking into lizard. Exhale, straightening your leg. One more. Good. Come back into this shape, into the lunge, and take your left arm high. Roll the wrist. And again, fire up your right leg. We have a tendency to just hang out here. I want to see a little strength action as you hold this. And release. Step your right foot forward, toes out, heels in. Draw your elbows towards your knees. Begin to lift your sit bones and then lower down to a squat shape. So it's in these postures that we're just tuning in
to what is range of motion for me today. As you lower, feel the drag. As you lift, feel the resistance. That's it. This is not only strengthening your legs, but it's stretching your hamstrings as well. Just one more. Good. Heel toe in. Bring your hands to your shins, halfway lift. Feet are parallel. And on the exhale, bow down. Inhale, rise all the way up. And then bring your hands to prayer. Take a deep breath in, feet rooted. On the exhale, airplane your arms in chair. Good, now rise up to Ikapato, one leg mountain, and bring your hands to prayer. Send your right heel forward, and then take a semicircle around into a curtsy. Right foot steps behind the left. Inhale, sweep your arms up. And on the exhale, sink low. Think about your back knee hovering the earth. Hinge forward and twist. Come back, keeping your lower body strong. In the lunge, twist. Spine stays long. One more. Exhale. Circle, sweep the arms up, hug your inner thighs, hold from the strength of your low belly muscles. And then come back to center. Take a deep breath in. And on the exhale, airplane your arms. Squeeze the shoulder blades, ground into the heels of your feet. Rise up with your left knee. You can always extend the leg if that feels right. Hands come to prayer. Send your left heel forward in semicircle, activating glute medius. Step into a curtsy lunge. Inhale, straighten the legs, sweep the arms up, and on the exhale, back to curtsy. Find the hover. Feel the energy draw in and up. Long spine, twist, maybe tap the front knee, and then come back. Again, twist and lift. Last one. Good. Circle sweep. Hug your thighs inward. Reach up. Hug, hug, hug. And then bring your hands to prayer. Nice work. Arms reach up overhead for mountain. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale to a halfway lift. And on your exhale, step your right foot back into a lunge. Lower the back knee. Inhale, sweep your right arm, hugging the right bicep by the ear, and then side bend to the left. You can always use a block to lift the ground to you in your left hand. Good. Straighten your front leg for half split. Keep your spine long, like you're dragging your fingertips back and your heart forward. Good. Come forward to a lunge. Lift your left arm high. Good. And on this one, pyramid pose. Keep the legs long. Flex your left toes towards you and bend your right knee to find a little bit more depth. Come back, right foot forward, top of the mat, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. All the way up to mountain pose. Rise. It's time, open your heart, gentle back bend. Inhale high. Exhale low. Halfway lift. Step your left foot back and lunge. Take your left knee towards the ground. And sweep your left arm up, hugging bicep to ear, side bend. Inhale, arms reach up overhead. On the exhale, half split. Guide your left hip bone back, right hip bone back. See if you can evenly extend extend your spine and reach your heart forward over the leg. Then come to a lunge, framing your front foot, lift your back knee open with a twist. Try to stabilize your hips and move from the rib cage. And on the exhale, pyramid variation, flex your toes, bend your back knee and sit your hips back. Focus the stretch in the belly of the hamstring. Try to avoid where the hamstring and right hip attachment meet. Good. Come back to your lunge and step back to downward facing dog. Come forward to plank. Maybe chaturanga, you can do it on the knees. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Lift your right leg up and back, down dog kick. And on the exhale, step forward to lunge. Feeling the weight in the tripod of your front foot, feet hip width distance, just hover for a second. Good. Now, as if you're air pushing the ground away from you, round through the upper back, and then begin to roll up, stacking one vertebra on top of the other. Nice. Breathe. On your exhale, hinge forward into a airplane posture. Gaze on the floor in front of you. Good. Now lift up with your left knee. Hands come to heart. Kick your heel forward. Draw your semicircle up and around. Step back to curtsy. Inhale, sweep your arms up overhead, hug your thighs inward, and on the exhale, revolve to the right. Come back to center, staying low. Exhale, revolve again. One more. The lower you stay, the more you'll feel it in your outer hip. Inhale, squeeze in, hug in, and on the exhale, step your feet together in prayer. Inhale, arms reach up overhead. Back bend on the exhale, expand. Inhale, high. Exhale, low. Halfway lift to chaturanga, high to mid push-up. Elbows in, upward facing dog to downward facing dog. Lift your left leg high. And exhale, step forward. Take a moment to pause. From lunge, hold here. Energetically push your fingertips down without touching the ground. You'll feel this more in your left hip, so hug your thighs inward and then begin to roll up to crescent lunge, to standing. Nice work. You can always bend the back knee as much as you need to. Couple breaths here. Into airplane. Hinge forward. Different from warrior three, there's an up dog in your chest. So squeeze the shoulder blades, really ignite some energy through your fingertips. And then come up to Ekapada. You've been here before, one leg mountain. Hands come to prayer. Send your right heel forward. Find the circle. More challenging the higher you lift your leg, and then take it around to curtsy. Get low. Inhale, arms sweep up overhead. Exhale, bend your knees and revolve. Two more of those, staying low in the legs. Revolve. One more. Good. Straighten the legs. Hug in, hug in, hug in. This is your interior hip muscles. You're welcome. And then exhale, release. You should be feeling that. Inhale, reach your arms up. Take a back bend on the exhale, open. Inhale, high. Settle your hands in prayer once again. So now we're gonna work a little external hip rotation in our standing pigeon. Left leg becomes your foundation. And with your right knee lifted up like you did before, but this time hold on to it with your right hand and maybe draw some circles. Good. Lift up tall and cross your right ankle to your left knee. Sit back. If you're at home, you can always place your hands on a wall or a chair. This is going to help you find some stability and length as we tend to round through the spine. Good. Keep working the right knee outward, dropping your hips towards the ground. Heart moves forward for 3, 2, and 1. Lift up through the knee again, and this time you can guide the knee right, or if you like, peace fingers at the big toe. You can start by extending forward. This is a variation too, and opening up. For 3, you got it. 2, and 1. The good news is there's never a prize for how you're balancing is that day. You're working and practicing balance, and it translates off your mat and into your life too. Do you know that? It does. All right, starting here, right foot is your foundation, left knee lifts. I like to start with right hand to hip, left hand to knee. Work your posture. Good, and then take a couple circles to the interior and to the outside. You can try to change directions. It's hard to hold the balance. When you're ready, left ankle crosses to your right knee. Draw your thighs back. Keep rooting down, 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 and moving with a long spine as you hinge. Just notice one side to the other. Maybe you place a block beneath your hands. Are you breathing? The exhale helps release the soap opera. When you're ready, you'll rise to a one leg with the option to extend the leg like we did before, or try it on this side with an open hip, left side. You can open the arm wide, maybe flex the foot. You're here for 3, 2, and 1. Great job. Inhale, arms reach up overhead. Take a back bend, exhale. Inhale, high. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. On the exhale, step back. Move through a push-up if you choose. Up dog to downward facing dog. Good. And slowly come onto your knees. So if you would like to use a block here, we're going to move into cow face. And cow face is not always easy, so you can always do a version of this on your back, maybe taking a reclined pigeon. Otherwise, keep the block close if it's helpful, and we'll start from table. So start by extending your right leg back and lifting your right leg high. And then cross your right big toe towards the left side and feel a rainbow as you come up and around the right side. So the challenge is to keep the upper body and the trunk stable as you rotate the ball and socket joint of the hip. Just a couple more, and notice how much your hips are moving to make this happen. Good, and then take your right leg wide, and it's directly from the right hip. You can bring the block to the ground if you like, and stay here. I like to floss a little bit through the shoulders, forward and back. Or you can come down to the ground. And if you want even more action, you can find a twist. Right hand plants, left arm opens, then thread the needle towards the foot.
You can find a half bind. Open up through the shoulders a little bit more. Breathe. And take your right hand to the earth. Open up again, left arm high. And come back. Extend your right leg back behind you. Level your hips and extend your left arm forward. Draw the ribs in and down, navel to spine, lengthen fingertips, crown of a head from your hips, your toes. Draw in one time, elbow to knee, cat back. Inhale, reach forward. And then take your left hand back with a little up dog of the chest. This is locust pose, just from this quadruped position. Bend your knee, reach for the foot if it's available, and open to a bow shape. You're here for 3. Try not to slingshot. 2. Slow and control. Reach to spinal balance, and then release. All right, you got one more side. Thankfully, only one more side, right? Left leg back. Here we go. Lift up your leg and begin to find the rainbows. As straight as you can make your leg and as stable as you can keep the center of your body. I think that's the challenge for me, wanting to compensate where I feel tight by wiggling my whole body in that direction. So see if you can really isolate by picking up, rainbow tap with the big toe, lift up again. You got it, just a couple more. You're gonna be doing the can-can after this. It's gonna be like Radio City Rocket type of stuff happening. Good, now bring it all the way around. Align your left heel with your left hip. And then choose block or no block. And begin to floss forward and back. The more you lean back, you might feel it in the inner leg, the groin. Just notice again what it feels like to be you in your body today. Option to plant your left hand to the earth, right arm comes up, and then thread the needle, right arm through. Lower the ear down, press into the back of your hand, and open up left hand towards the low back. Left hand plants, right arm high. And then exhale, step it back. All right. Final bird dog. You can always pat up your right knee if you need it. Lift your left leg, reach your right arm forward, take a deep breath in, and on the exhale, elbow to knee curl. Inhale, slow and controlled, swimming through honey. Right hand back, up dog the chest, turn on your pinky finger, and hold for 3. Grabbing the foot on 2 and 1. If your hips allow, try to point both hip bones towards the ground and kick hand to foot, foot to hand, lift your gaze. Slow and control, use your core strength, come back, and then release. Now, cross your right knee over for that long-awaited cow face. I use a block. Just helps both my sit bones ground to the earth when my hips feel tight. Your knees may fall in a lovely place on top of each other, or they may look more like mine. And that's okay. Adjust the block as you need it, or ground both sit bones to the floor. Inhale, lengthen, tall, tall, tall. Exhale, twist. Then come back and hinge forward. Without the block, you might be able to find a little bit more action in the hips. Notice we're not doing the archer arm variation. This is really focusing on outer hip here. Breathe. See if you can find a long, slow exhale to slow you down.
And then make your way back through table and simply cross your left knee over the right. The more you work mobility, that transition is going to seem a lot less effortful. You can stay here or you can sit on a block. Find a long spine, inhale, lengthen, exhale, twist. Then come back to center. Both sit bones root to the ground or to a block, hinge forward, and find some deep breaths. Extend your legs long, come onto your back. And just as we began, tee out your arms and find some windshield wipers. My hope for you today is that you feel a little bit lighter, your walking stride is a little bit more fluid, and maybe you've even released some of the soap opera out of your hips. Stay here in a constructive rest or bridge position with the knees in, or come into final Shavasana. Stay as long as you need it today. The light in me honors the light in you. Namaste.